Hey, work from homers, Adam Schrader here. We love bringing you this podcast, and thousands of you have proven that it's been helpful for you. But since time and online storage space aren't free, Naresh and I wanted to come to you personally to ask for your financial support through Patreon. Go to patreon.com/workfromhomeshow and help support the show. And we appreciate your support at any amount you choose. That's patreon.com/workfromhomeshow. Thanks for your support. Let's get to the show.
Forced to work from home by your employer? Laid off or feeling depressed at home? Do you want to make money working from anywhere? We'll show you how to do it from your couch. It's time for another episode of the Work From Home Show. Coming to you from their homes in Austin, Texas and Tampa, Florida, here are your hosts, Adam and Naresh.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Work From Home Show. I'm Naresh with Adam Schrader. Shout out to all our homies, homeboys, homegirls, home trans, all the work from homers out there. We greatly appreciate you joining us on today's episode with Matthieu Jost. He is the founder and CEO of MisterBnB, which is like Airbnb for gay couples. And he's also the founder and CEO of the French media company Net, and also MyGayTrip, a TripAdvisor type of site for the LGBTQ community. Matthieu, welcome to the Work From Home Show.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I would consider you to be like a serial tech travel entrepreneur, someone who focuses on trips and travel and hospitality, lodging. And I believe you got most of your companies that we just talked about. You started them when you were at quote unquote home. You started them from a laptop or a computer. Is that true? And can you tell us more about how you were able to do this from home?
It's exact. As a travel company, we have always favored remote work. Because we believe that it's super important that our team can work remotely and explore the world. So this was nothing new to us. It's like the big difference is that everybody has been working from home since March. And so it means a lot of Slack exchanges, emails, and phone calls. And after a few months, after the first wave, as the situation started to become a bit more easy in Europe, we started to meet again in person once or twice a week in our Parisian office. And this is something we might actually continue to do after the crisis is over.
Can you tell a little bit, obviously one of the big things about becoming a successful entrepreneur is making sure that there is a need for your product. As we discussed, your MisterBnB is similar to Airbnb, your MyGayTrip is similar to TripAdvisor. So how did you know that there was a market that you could serve that your company would thrive in?
It's pretty well known that the LGBTQ community is a very active travel segment. They are traveling. They are mostly what we call DING, double income, no kids. So they are not richer, but they have more money to spend into leisure. So it's an active and premium segment market, and all the tourist board airlines companies were already targeting this specific market before. So when we launched MyGayTrip, we saw immediately a huge success in terms of visits. And since inception, we wanted to launch a service that will cater to the LGBTQ community, in which the LGBTQ community can offer their home to other members of the community in order to my community to be able to travel safely. And so when we launched, we immediately saw that there were a specific need for the community.
And I just never really thought about what you said, double income, no kids. That seems like a really good target market, and I'm sure it's been around. That's been a target market for decades. I just never thought about it. What got you specifically? Was it the business opportunity and seeing, this target market, it's growing, and gay marriage is now pretty much a thing worldwide? post 2014, 2015 or so, and so there's a big business opportunity here? Or was it a personal experience? I'm not sure if you are personally gay, but maybe you were traveling and you wanted something easier for your own travels. Tell us about the genesis of many of these businesses you started that revolve around the LGBTQ community.
Yeah, so it started from my own personal experience. I was traveling in Barcelona with my partner, like it was like now 8 years ago. And at that time, there was no services like MisterBnB, so we booked a stay. It was a private room on a mainstream platform. And so when we arrived, the host realized that we were not just friends, but we were a gay couple. And she felt super uncomfortable having two gay men sleeping in the same bed in the room just next to her. And so the trip started to be super awkward, and we decided to leave. And on the way back in the cab for the airport, I said to my partner that I don't want to live such experience in the future anymore, and I don't want that for me or for my community. And this is how the idea of MisterBnB came. And in a few months after, we were able to launch the first version of the platform.
Out of curiosity, how are you able to vet, potential places to make sure that they are safe and, welcoming to the LGBTQ community?
So it's a good question. So for now, we are relying mostly on the review of our customers. So as soon as we had a bad review on a specific listing, we are taking it off. We are also working with machine learning systems to be able to detect some potential fraudster on the platform. So this is really key to help us to delete all the listing that can cause some issues to our community.
What is your background? Did you just one day wake up and say, I want to start MisterBnB or Taplanet, or do you have a background in IT or computer engineering experience in maybe management consulting, and then you got into this work from home tech space?
No, I had a background in computer engineering in France. I used this expertise to launch my first platform, which was a content website dedicated to TV shows that I sold a few years after. I was 18 when I started this business. And after that, I always wanted to help my community and do stuff around LGBTQ travels. And this is how all my past experience have started from.
Can you talk a little bit about how MisterBnB has been doing this year? I mean, a lot of people were concerned when the pandemic started that, it would crush the short-term rental market. But then we found that, some places short-term rental-wise were absolutely, doing fantastic. A lot of the destination Airbnb places haven't been, doing quite as well, if you have to fly there or anything. But how have you seen the short-term rental market going since the pandemic and lockdowns hit?
It's a good question. As you can imagine, short-term rental have been heavily impacted at first because people stopped traveling. But after a few months, we could see our business started to pick up again. Of course, the trend now are very different as the trend we could see before. So domestic travel represents now 75% of our business versus 40% before the crisis started. We have also a significant number of staycation, travelers booking a vacation in their own city, but in a different neighborhood. And now with the pandemic fatigue setting in, we also have users who book another place close to home to change air and work from a different place than home. So remote working is something that is really increasing currently.
What markets are you serving? Is it worldwide right now, or is it just focused mostly in France where you are, or what markets are you looking at?
No, we are a global company. Our first market is the US, and our second market is in Europe.
Yeah, talking about the short-term rental space, going a little bit more in depth, What's your outlook over the long haul? Do you think the demand is going to pick up? Do you think we're just going to go back to how things were in 2019? Or do you think there is some kind of PTSD and international travelers are still going to be afraid to use services like yours, MisterBnB? I'll tell you, I'm a big Airbnb fan, even more than hotels. And I haven't taken a plane in 16 months. I haven't taken a plane ride since October 2019, which is the longest I think in my life that I haven't flown. It's not because I'm afraid. It's because there just isn't any reason to. I used to do a lot of business travel, conferences, meetings. There's just nothing anymore going on. So what's your outlook for your industry and just travel as a whole?
I'm sure you are starving to travel again, like many people right now. We expect that the business travel won't be back for a few years as it was before. It would take a long time because companies are currently cutting their travel budget right now. About leisure, we believe that it will really kick back and rebound as the restriction will be lifted. We also believe that remote work will give people the opportunity to work from everywhere in the world. Just you need a laptop and a stable Wi-Fi connection. So as more and more workers are allowed by their company to work remotely, we believe we will soon see this trend increasing. You see that on certain islands, like Thailand, for example, you already have outdoor bar who offer just what you need: a plug, a great Wi-Fi connection, and a view of the water. So this is super cool, and we believe this kind of remote work will increase heavily in the upcoming years.
Have you seen any particular areas bounce back quicker than others, or is it kind of everything's moving around the same pace? Like, are any particular sectors of the world or sections, not necessarily sector, but areas of the world improving better than others?
We don't see that right now. We saw that during the summer in Europe. The situation was much better in Europe during the summer, so we see a really high peak during the summer season, but now the situation is almost the same everywhere.
As far as working from home goes, I'm curious to know your thoughts on if you've seen a change in habits or if you anticipate a change in habits, because I would think as more people work from home, like my brother, for example, his company is, I believe, completely work from home after being in an office for decades. Mm-hmm. And so he's considering staying in short-term rentals, similar to not MisterBnB, but Airbnb or just other short-term rentals for the next year or so. Just every 2 months, go to a different place. He hasn't done it yet, though. Have you seen an uptick in the demand for short-term rentals as a result of the work-from-home movement that is taking place?
Yes, definitely we can see that, and we can see that mostly through the fact that people are looking for longer stay, so stay above 30 days. And this is a trend that we started to see a few months ago, and I believe this will remain constant and even increase in the next few years, because people want to take the opportunity to explore the world, and work from home is really a chance to be able to expand those kind of things.
I'm assuming, though, this is your site, MisterBnB, is geared towards the LGBTQ community, but I'm assuming you don't have to be a member of that community to book through your service, right?
You're right, and this is super important because we have a lot of women, straight women, that just want to travel safely or host safely, that are listed on MisterBnB. We have also parents of the LGBTQ community, so this is super important. Yes, we are open to everyone on the platform.
When it comes to, you talked about how the MisterBnB was spawned because of your experience with the host. How did the MyGayTrip come into existence? Because whenever I think about, TripAdvisor, it's talking about like huge places that I wouldn't think would be a different experience for the LGBT community than for the straight community, such as myself. But, obviously I don't know exactly. So how did that come about?
It comes about because as a community, there are some specific places that caters to the community, like bars, nightclubs. And so there was no directory that listed all these different kind of venues and with reviews from the community. And that's how the idea came from at its inception.
Matthieu Jost, founder and CEO of MisterBnB, which is like an Airbnb for gay couples, also the founder and CEO of plethora and MyGayTrip, a TripAdvisor site for the LGBTQ community. The website for MisterBnB is Mr. the letter B and letter B.com. MisterBnB.com. Matthieu, any final thoughts that you want to share with our listeners or anything else you want to promote?
Yes, thank you so much for hosting me today, and we hope you will travel soon using our service and experience the world in a more safely way.
Great, Matthieu Jost, thanks for joining us on the Work From Home Show. To all our listeners, check out all of our previous episodes at workfromhomeshow.com. Email us if you have any questions, thoughts, comments at hello@workfromhomeshow.com. Leave us a review on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, whatever podcasting platform you use. Send us a screenshot of it, hello@workfromhomeshow.com, and we will send you back a free goodie. It'll be a free book. And if you have any questions, again, hello@workfromhomeshow.com. If you have any thoughts about the interview we did today with Matthieu or any of our previous guests, hello@workfromhomeshow.com. Until next week, keep on working from home.